Hey YouTube, this is Racing Dan. I am here with my Yu-Gi-Oh! Lightsworn deck. This deck is updated as of the September 1st, 2010 ban list. And here we go. 2 Judgment Dragon. 2 Celestia. I've seen some decks run 3. I personally like 2 because less dead draws. 2 is plenty for this deck. 2 Honest. 2 Lila. 2 Wulf. I've seen decks run 3. Once again, I think 3 is just too much for this format. I probably run 3 a couple ban lists ago when Lumina was still at 3, but now I run 2 just to kind of eliminate dead draws. 1 Lumina, 1 Aaron, 2 Groth, 2 Jane, 2 Ryko, 1 Card Trooper. I think this card is like the new staple in a Lightsworn deck. This card allows you to mill before the battle phase, which this card becomes a 19 and you might also get a Wulf on the mill, so that's pretty nice to have right before the battle phase. 1 Plague Spreader, pretty self-explanatory. 1 Mizuki. This deck is not a ZombieSworn deck, but I do run Mizuki kind of just for Plague Spreader. I don't run Zombie Master, like I said, no ZombieSworn here, but I think having a Mizuki in this deck is pretty nice to have. And 1 Necrogardna. And onto my spells. 22 monsters, by the way, but onto my spells. 3 Solar Recharge. 1 Charge. 1 Reinforcement of the Army, kind of like my Charge of the Light Brigade replacement. 1 Foolish Burial. 1 Monster Reborn. This card luckily got unbanned, put on the limited list, and pretty much a staple in any deck now. 1 Reincarnation. I like to run at least 1 still, just mainly for possibly getting Judgment Dragon. 1 Giant Trunade. I run this over Cold Wave because I personally still like to activate my spell cards or trap cards. Pretty much my Heavy Storm replacement also. 2 MST. In my opinion, you gotta run 2 MST now that it's semi-limited and Heavy Storm got banned. So, pretty much gotta run 2. And Dark Hole. It got unbanned, put on the limited list, and just a damn good card. And that's 12 spell cards, and this is my trap card section. 2 Beckoning Light. I would say in a deck like this, you need to run at least 2. This is great for getting out Honest during the battle phase. Basically, you activate this when your opponent attacks, and you can add Honest to your hand, and they're pretty much screwed. 2 Bottomless. Mirror Force. 1 Solemn Judgment. Threatening Roar. Pretty good to have this in the deck. I just like being able to screw around when my opponent wastes his MST or Trunade. Just a good card for preventing OTKs. And finally, Torrential Tribute. This deck is 42 cards, 22 monsters, 12 spells, 8 traps. If you could please leave some comments below on what you think of the deck. And I would love to hear your opinions, possibly to try and make this deck better. It's pretty good already, but any opinions would help. And that's it.